Thank you for staying with us. The Patriots National Conference in Abuja have taken a decisive turn, with participants resolving to present a draft bill for a new constitution to the Presidency and the National Assembly. The conference, convened by a coalition of eminent statesmen, legal experts, and civic leaders, aims to address long-standing structural and governance issues in Nigeria. The discussions are centered on key areas of constitutional reform, including federalism, resource control, devolution of powers, and electoral reforms. Speaking at the opening session, organizers emphasized that the current 1999 Constitution, as amended, no longer reflects the will or aspirations of the Nigerian people. They called for a new foundational legal framework that is, quote, truly people-driven, just, and inclusive, end of quote. And Chief Emeka Anyaoku, who is the former Secretary General of the Commonwealth and Chairman of the Patriots, have also spoken about the fact that this 1999 Constitution as amended was handed over or imposed on Nigerians by the military. And so it is not people-centric. And so he is saying right now what Nigeria needs is a new constitution that will reflect the ideals of the people and will bring people together. But we have our guest joining us, a public affairs analyst, Biodun Showome, joining us for this conversation. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, viewers.
Good morning.
Great. Now, the matter of the 1999 Constitution as amended not being people-centric and not reflecting the ideals of what the Nigerian society should be is on the front burner once again. And from your perspective, is the Constitution really the challenge that we have as a country, or is it leadership, as some members of the Patriots are saying?
Yes, we have a combination of both problems. One, we have a structural problem which has to do with the Constitution. If you look at the opening page of the Constitution, the first thing you see we the people of Nigeria. But we the people of Nigeria never had a referendum on that Constitution. The 1999 Constitution was prepared by the military and handed over to us. Even elections were conducted before many people saw the Constitution, and therefore it is not actually a fact that the people of Nigeria endorsed that Constitution. The second problem is some aspects of the Constitution have created problems. We have a form of, we are supposed to have federalism. We are in a federal setup, whereas it is more of unitary. A lot of powers were concentrated in the center in Abuja. Over 50 items are on the exclusive list. I cannot remember that it's 54 something. And then you have the situation where, again, when it comes to allocation, you have 36 federating units, out of the two federating units, that is the center and the constituent units. 36 units, they're receiving 26%, of the federal allocation, whereas all the resources were taken away from the state down to the center and then being distributed. So you have the coordinated center controlling 52.68%. So that itself, has created huge issues in the country. Apart from the fact that there's no, I don't see why education in the matter for the federal government, apart from standardization. You have the state government controlling land, they own the land, going by 1978 decree, which has been recognized in the Constitution. Now, if the state governments own the land, why is it the business of the federal government on agriculture beyond regulation like on quality and other issues for export purposes and internal consumption? So, it's a lot of anomalies. You have the water resource, even the rivers within the states are owned, by the center. And these are issues which are forced on every administration through structural problems. Now, to compound the problem is the issue of leadership. the leadership is also, the quality of leadership also matters. You have leaders who cannot take decisive actions when it matters most to either rescue the economy or to address social crises or to address insurgency. This is a major problem. And rather than throwing up their hands, saying, look, we don't know what to do, or bringing it on other people, they are required to move in and solve the problem head-on without fear or favor, in a courageous way. So we have a problem of people providing courageous leadership over the years, which nobody would argue about that. So, and you cannot address corruption when you have a patronage system like what we have currently, which is the leadership style in the country all along.
All right,
so therefore, it's a combination of factors.
Yeah.
The first problem is the structural problem, and the second issue
is a leadership problem.
But the leadership problem is secondary.
All right.
The primary issue is the structural problem, which is the Constitution.
All right, Mr. Shomi, some years back we had the Constitutional Conference. That was when Goodluck Jonathan was president of Nigeria. And the issues discussed in that Constitutional Conference are the same issues that are going to be discussed in this one. The document that came out of that Constitutional Conference is still there. Are we going to throw that document away and listen to the new arguments that this one will bring up? Federalism, electoral reforms, these are very important issues. And solutions have been given or preferred in that document. What do we do with that document?
Well, we've had so many constitutional conferences reports over the years. Yes, I must admit the 2014 document seems to be more comprehensive, but that does not stop the country from taking a look at all past constitutional conferences, and harmonize the reports to reflect the wishes of the people of Nigeria, and then we can put it to referendum. That is one way of going about it through the National Assembly, because as a matter of fact, short of a revolution, there is no way you can amend the Constitution without going through the National Assembly and the 36 state houses of assembly. So given that situation, except there is a national consensus to adopt the 2014 National Conference report, which I think is comprehensive, there is nothing wrong with that. But there are also other people who have one view or the other on other reports, past Constitutional Conferences report. But the federal government can set up a kind of harmonization committee so that it does not reflect that it's just the 2014. It will take into account other reports too, and then come out with a final document, which I think should really be the exclusive responsibility of the National Assembly to look into all that, and then come out with a final draft which can be put to vote. And if it scales through the National Assembly, then we will have to secure the two-thirds of 36 state endorsement before it can become operational in our country. So, but there are always impediments one way or the other. I can give you a good example. Look at the local government autonomy, the financial autonomy, which the Tinubu administration tried one way or the other to get implemented through the Supreme Court. Based on the Supreme Court judgment, we can see the hurdles, because many governors, state governments have come to rely on revenue from local governments in part of their budget planning for so many years, and therefore to get them off it suddenly became a problem based on the Supreme Court. The second problem is we need to domesticate that Supreme Court in the Constitution.
Mr. Shomi,
the National Assembly has not done that.
Right. There's so much to be said. Unfortunately, time is not our friend, so we have to wrap up this conversation here now. But thank you so much for your time. Biodun Shomi, Public Affairs Analyst, for your time on the program. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Great.